Hello dear students, this is Srinivas sir and you are watching Sri9 Teaching YouTube channel. మీకు తెలుసా ఈసారి ఎస్ఎస్సి ఎగ్జామినేషన్స్ 2022కి 6 పేపర్లు మాత్రమే ఉంటాయని మీకు తెలుసా? మరియు సిలబస్లో 70% తగ్గించారు. ఇంకొక ముఖ్య విషయం, జనరల్ సైన్స్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్ రోజు ఫిజికల్ సైన్స్ పేపరు, బయాలజికల్ సైన్స్ పేపర్ కలిపి రెండు ఒకే రోజు మీరు రాయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. ఈ విషయం కూడా మీకు తెలుసా? అలానే జనరల్ సైన్స్ పేపర్ ఎగ్జామ్ రోజు మొదట 1.5 అవర్ ఫిజికల్ సైన్స్ పేపర్ రాసాకే తర్వాత 1.5 అవర్ టైంలో బయాలజికల్ సైన్స్ పేపర్ మీరు రాయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. మరియు ఫిజికల్ సైన్స్ అంటే పేపర్ 1, బయాలజికల్ సైన్స్ పేపర్ 2 రెండు కలిపి ఉంటాయి, కానీ క్వశ్చన్ పేపర్స్, ఆబ్జెక్టివ్ పేపర్స్ రెండు వేరువేరుగా ఉంటాయి. సో ఈ విషయాలని మీకు తెలుసు అనుకుంటున్నాను. ఒకవేళ తెలియకుంటే నా ఛానల్లో మీకు ఈ విషయాలకు సంబంధించిన అన్ని వీడియోలు ఉన్నాయి. దయచేసి నా ఛానల్ని సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసి అందులోని మీకు సంబంధించిన ఎస్ఎస్సి స్టూడెంట్స్కి సంబంధించిన వీడియోలని కూడా మీరు చూడొచ్చు. సిలబస్కి సంబంధించిన వీడియో కావచ్చు, మోడల్ పేపర్స్ కావచ్చు, అన్ని సబ్జెక్ట్స్ సంబంధించిన సమాచారం మీరు నా ఛానల్లోని వీడియోస్ లేదా ప్లేలిస్ట్లో చూస్తే అన్నీ అవైలబుల్గా ఉన్నాయి. మరియు ఇంకొక ముఖ్య విషయం, ఫిజికల్ సైన్స్ పేపర్లో 3rd యూనిట్ అయిన యాసిడ్స్, బేసెస్ అండ్ సాల్ట్స్ ఈ యూనిట్లోంచి మీకు దాదాపుగా 10 to 12 మార్క్స్ వస్తాయని తెలుసా? ఎస్, రియల్. కాబట్టి 3rd యూనిట్ని కూడా చాలా జాగ్రత్తగా చదువుకోండి. మీకోసం ఈ వీడియో చేస్తున్నాను. ఇందులో మీకు ఇంపార్టెంట్ పాయింట్స్ యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ కూడా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను. ఇంకెవరైనా స్టూడెంట్స్ ఫస్ట్ చాప్టర్, సెకండ్ చాప్టర్కి సంబంధించిన ఇంపార్టెంట్ క్వశ్చన్స్ కానీ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ కానీ చూడనట్టయితే దయచేసి ఆ వీడియోస్ లింక్స్ కూడా ఇందులో ఇస్తున్నాను. ఐఎమ్ గివింగ్ ద లింక్స్ ఆఫ్ ది ఇంపార్టెంట్ క్వశ్చన్స్ యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ ఆఫ్ ఫస్ట్ అండ్ సెకండ్ చాప్టర్స్ in this video, so please watch them also, and let us start the important questions as well as concepts in the 3rd unit, that is acids, bases and salts. Okay, here we will discuss the concepts in short. Okay, yeah, and while discussing we will also discuss the important topics and which type of questions will come in the examinations of 2022. Okay, right, let us start. So please see the screen here, the acids, bases and salts. So in this chapter, acids, bases and salts, you know that acids are sour to taste and turn blue litmus paper to red color, as well as the bases are soapy to touch and they turn red litmus to blue color. Okay, you know this. And here reactions of acids and bases with different indicators. Let us see here. Yes, please observe the table. Here substance, blue litmus paper, red litmus paper, methyl orange indicator, phenolphthalein. Here let us see the first acid. Acid turns the blue litmus paper to red. As well as with red litmus paper there is no change in color regarding acid, and acid change the methyl orange indicator to red color, and acid does not change the color of phenolphthalein. There is no change in color. Now coming to base, the bases with blue litmus paper there is no change color, but with red litmus it turns to red litmus to blue color, and methyl orange indicator the bases turn to yellow, and phenolphthalein indicator, with phenolphthalein indicator bases turn the color to pink. Okay, the substance in which phenolphthalein indicator turn the color to pink is base. Okay, so please remember all these things. Now let us see the other reactions of acids and bases with the metals. Here you see, here we in short you can easily remember and write which type of question may be given in the examinations. Suppose here the first point you see, acids and bases react with metals and release hydrogen gas. So regarding this point you may get the question like, when acids and bases react with metals, which gas will be liberated, and write the chemical equation. If such question is given, you can simply write the sentence as well as the equations. Okay, so that's why it is very easy. So hence please understand here. So acids and bases react with metals and release hydrogen gas. The first equation regarding acid, here 2HCl, it is the hydrochloric acid, and the metal is zinc. So that's why 2HCl plus zinc, it gives zinc chloride as well as hydrogen gas. Okay, now second reaction of bases, here this is NaOH is nothing but sodium hydroxide. reacts with zinc metal and releases sodium zincate as well as hydrogen gas. Okay, right. Now let us see the second equation, second sentence. Now let us see the second sentence. Acids react with carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates. The other name of metal hydrogen carbonates is bicarbonates and produce carbon dioxide. Acids reacts with carbonates as well as metal hydrogen carbonates and they produce carbon dioxide gas. Now let us see the example. Here Na2CO3. This is Na2CO3 is nothing but sodium carbonate, reacts with hydrochloric acid and produces sodium chloride, H2O, that is water. Sodium chloride is nothing but salt, H2O water and carbon dioxide, right? Now see the second equation, second example. This is sodium bicarbonate or sodium hydrogen carbonate, reacts with hydrochloric acid and it gives sodium chloride, H2O and carbon dioxide. Here you can use these equations for balancing up the chemical equations also as examples. Okay, you can practice for chemical equations as well as for acids, bases and salts. Okay, right. Now see the third point. Metal oxides react with acids to give salt and water. Okay, example metal oxides, copper oxide plus hydrochloric acid gives rise to CuCl2 and H2O. So copper oxide, that is nothing but metal oxide which reacts with acid. Metal oxides are bases. Okay, metal oxides are bases, hence they react with acids and gives salts like copper chloride, CuCl2 plus water. Okay, now next here non-metal oxides which are non-metal oxides which are acidic in nature. Okay, metal oxides are basic in nature and non-metal oxides are acidic in nature. So here non-metal oxides react with bases to give salt and water. Okay, here the non-metal oxide is carbon dioxide reacting with base, that is calcium hydroxide, and giving a salt, that is calcium carbonate and water. Okay, right. Now next point, you see the reaction of acid with a base to give salt and water is known as neutralization reaction. Very, very important. What is neutralization reaction? Give example. Such question will be given. It means that we can write this sentence. What is the neutralization reaction? The reaction of acid with a base to give salt and water is known as neutralization reaction, isn't it? And example, see here, acid plus base gives salt and water. This is common reaction. Example is base NaOH, acid HCl. NaOH is nothing but sodium hydroxide, HCl is nothing but hydrochloric acid, and gives salt, that is sodium chloride, and water H2O, right? Yes. Now next, acids have hydrogen ions in them and bases have OH minus ions in them, common. Okay, the question may be asked like this: what do acids contain in common? The acids contain commonly hydrogen ions and bases contain commonly OH minus ions. Okay, be careful here. Next, acids produce H plus ions only in aqueous solutions. Okay, it may be given in the objective, acids produce dash ions only in aqueous solutions. Aqueous solutions means the solution which is dissolved in water, H plus ions. Okay, right. So dear students, till now we have seen the chemical properties of acids and bases along with chemical equations. Okay, now see some more important points here. Making dilute acids. So here making dilute acids means the process of dissolving an acid or a base in water is an exothermic process. Okay, so why it is exothermic process? Yes, when you dissolve acid or base in water, it gets heated up. The test tube or the beaker in which you are adding the acid or base into water, definitely some heat it produces. Hence, such reaction is called exothermic reaction or exothermic process, right? Now, the acid must always be added slowly to water with constant stirring. If water is added to a concentrated acid, the heat generated may cause the mixture to splash out or explode and cause burns. Now question comes, why acid is to be added to water but not water to acid? Explain. Within 1 mark or 2 marks such question will be given, very important. So this is very important as I said just now. So be careful, concentrate this. Okay. Now coming to strengths of acids and bases. Now strengths means here the strength is nothing but which acid is strong, which acid is weak, which base is strong and which base is weak. So we have to identify. So to identify this, here the strength of acids or bases depends on the concentration of H3O plus ions or OH minus ions produced in the solution. This can be measured by pH value. Okay, now here you see the name of H3O plus is hydronium ion and the name of OH minus ion is hydroxyl ion. Now let us see what is pH scale. Here a scale for measuring hydrogen ion concentration in a solution is called pH scale. This is simply a number which indicates the acidic or basic nature of a solution. So here you must understand that if number of hydrogens are more, then its acidic nature is more or highest. Okay, so that's why here acids contain hydrogens in common. So that's why depending on the hydrogen ion concentration, we can say whether the acid is or base strong or weak depending on the hydrogen ion concentration. Okay, so that's why what is pH scale? A scale for measuring hydrogen ion concentration in a solution is called pH scale. Right, now see the pH scale ranges here. pH scale ranges from 0 to 14. So here right side you can see the colors along with the numbers. Okay, so already you might have learned in your classes that the pH value less than 7, that is 0 to 6. Less than 7 is nothing but if you come back from 7, you will get in descending order 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, as you coming down from 7 to 0, the acidic nature increases. If pH value is less, that is 0, 1, 2 like that, the less number of the pH indicates the strength of the acid. It means the acid is more strong, right? So hence here if pH is less than 7, then the solution is acidic. Now if pH is greater than 7 means, if you see the numbers here, greater than 7 means 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 like that. So as the number increases from 7 to 14, the solution becomes basic. It means that the pH value, if it is greater than 7, such solutions are basic in nature. Then coming to pH is 7. If pH is equals to 7, then the solution is neutral. Now I will explain the color also. If pH is less than 7, the color goes like this. First it will be light green, then it will be orange, then it goes to red when the value come down from 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0 like that. But if the number increases from 7 to 14, the green color will become blue and the blue will become dark blue, then navy blue. Okay, so remember, then pH is equal to 7, which is neutral, then it will be green color. Okay, yes, depending on the colors also we can say whether the given solution is acidic or basic or neutral. Got it? Yes, you see as pH value increases from 0 to 7, the strength of acid decreases, but when we go from 7 to 0, strength of acid increases, right? Next, as pH value increases from 7 to 14, definitely strength of base increases. So be careful. If pH is 7, example for pH is 7 is nothing but the distilled water, salt solution which is neutral, its pH is 7. Be careful. Now coming to the importance of pH in our daily life. In this one, first plants. How plants and animals are affected by pH. So here we see on the screen, plants and animals are pH sensitive. It means that, see here, living organisms can survive only in a narrow range of pH changes when pH of rainwater is less than 5.6. If pH of rainwater is less than 5.6, definitely it is called acid rain. What is acid rain and how it affects? So this is acid rain, and when acid rain flows into the rivers, of the pH of the river water is lowered, the survival of aquatic life in such rivers becomes difficult. They may not or they cannot survive and it leads to death. Okay, so that is the effect of pH if the rainwater has the pH less than 5.6. Such rains are called acid rains. Okay, now coming to pH in stopping tooth decay. See here, the tooth decay starts when the pH of mouth is lower than 5.5. If we eat anything, what happens in our mouth, the pH decreases, and if it becomes 5.5, then it leads to tooth decay. Then to resolve that, to get relief from that, we use toothpaste, which is a base to neutralize the excess of acid to prevent tooth decay, right? Next, coming to pH in digestive system. Our stomach produces HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, which helps in digestion of food without harming the stomach. During the indigestion, which is not digested, during indigestion, we use bases called antacids, like antacid tablets. These antacids neutralize the excess acid in stomach and gets relieved. Okay, or we get relief, right? Now coming to pH of the soil. So pH of the soil, plants require a specific pH range for their healthy growth. It is necessary to find out the pH of the soil to use required fertilizers for the healthy growth of the plants. So in this way, we can even test the pH of the soil. By testing that, we can decide whether the soil is capable of growing the plants or the crops. If not, so necessary remedies will be taken. Okay, right. Now coming to salts. Now what is a salt? Yes, to understand what is a salt, first we should understand what is neutralization. When acid reacts with base to form salt and water, such reaction is called neutralization reaction. So when acid and base reacts together, salt is formed, which is neutral. Hence salts are neutral, right? So here you see under the heading salts, salts of strong acid and strong base are neutral, right? The salts of a strong acid and weak base are acidic, and the salts of a strong base and weak acid are basic in nature. So if the acid and base have equal strengths, it should be neutral. If acidic nature is more, the salt will be acidic. If basic nature is more, the salt will be basic. Okay, right. Now you see, salts extracted from common salt are, what are they? Sodium hydroxide, baking soda, and washing soda. These three very important, very important. So, and one more important thing I want to tell here, that is brine solution. So here brine is nothing but when salt is dissolved in water, such solution is called brine. You see on the screen, first common salt, which is called sodium chloride. Here you must understand one thing, common salt is a common name and chemical name is sodium chloride, which we use in our daily dishes to enhance the taste, right? See here, sodium chloride, that is NaCl, is the chemical name of common salt or a table salt. It can be extracted from seawater. These crystals are often brown due to impurities. This is called rock salt. Okay. Now second, sodium hydroxide, NaOH. When electricity is passed through an aqueous solution of sodium chloride, which is called brine, okay, it decomposes to form sodium hydroxide. This process is called chloroalkali process. Question will come, what is chloroalkali process? When electricity is passed through an aqueous solution of salt, it decomposes to form sodium hydroxide, which is called, this process is called chloroalkali process because chlorine and alkali are formed. Okay. Now see the third point, bleaching powder. What is bleaching powder? Bleaching powder is produced by the action of chlorine on dry slaked lime. Dry slaked lime is nothing but calcium hydroxide, which is treated with chlorine and it gives rise to CaOCl2 plus H2O. Here this is slaked lime, calcium hydroxide, and it is treated with chlorine gas and it forms bleaching powder. The formula for bleaching powder is CaOCl2 as well as water vapor is formed, H2O. Now dear students, please see very important topic on the screen, that is uses of bleaching powder. See the first point, it is used for bleaching cotton and linen in textile industry, Second, it is used for bleaching wood pulp in paper industry. Third, it is used for bleaching washed clothes in laundry. So bleaching means to remove the unwanted color. Okay. Now fourth point, it is used as an oxidizing agent in many chemical industries. Fifth, it is used for disinfecting drinking water to make it free of germs. And the last, it is used as a reagent in the preparation of chloroform. So here there are 6 points. You need not to write all the points. For 2 marks you have to write 4 points, and for 1 mark you have to write 2 points, and 4 marks you have to write all the points. Got it? Which is very important. It may be given in the examinations. Okay. Now next, go to the baking soda. Very important this also, how baking soda is prepared. So here baking soda is added for faster cooking. Its chemical name is sodium hydrogen carbonate. It is prepared as follows. How it is prepared? So here you see the preparation. Sodium chloride is added with water plus carbon dioxide plus ammonia. So in such reaction, ammonium chloride is formed as well as sodium hydrogen carbonate, which is called baking soda, right? Now this is the equation for the preparation, and let us see the uses of baking soda, that is sodium hydrogen carbonate. You see the first point, baking soda produces CO2 which rises through bubbling duff into cake or bread. This results cake and bread are smooth and spongy. Yes, in the bakeries generally baking powder is used. So when baking powder is used, when it is heated, carbon dioxide releases and it goes through the wet floor. So when it is going, it makes it holes in the cake and it becomes duff and spongy. Okay, right. Now coming to the second point, sodium hydrogen carbonate is also an ingredient in antacids. In antacids which are used when we get pain or some acidity in stomach, then we use antacids. So in that also sodium hydrogen carbonate is used. Now for third point, it is also used as soda acid in fire extinguisher. Fire extinguisher is nothing but which is used to shut off the fires when fire accidents occur. Now coming to the last point, it acts as mild antiseptic. So now see the fifth point, washing soda or sodium carbonate, Na2CO3. Be careful, don't confuse between the baking soda and washing soda. Baking soda can be eatable, but washing soda is not eatable. It is used for the cleaning purposes. Okay. Now see on the screen, sodium carbonate can be obtained by heating baking soda. Recrystallization of sodium carbonate gives washing soda. It is also a basic salt. Okay. See the equation here, Na2CO3 plus 10H2O gives rise to Na2CO3 dot 10H2O. So generally Na2CO3 is formed when NaHCO3 is heated, and that Na2CO3 again it is mixed with water and it heated slowly and it recrystallizes and it forms Na2CO3 10H2O, which is together is called washing soda. Recrystallization. Okay, right. Now coming to uses of washing soda, please see here. This is also important, uses of washing soda. Sodium carbonate is used in glass, soap and paper industries. Okay. Now second point, it is used in the manufacture of sodium compounds such as borax. Third point, sodium carbonate can be used as a cleaning agent for domestic purposes in houses, at home. Next, it is used for removing permanent hardness of water. Okay, these four are very important. Now coming to water of crystallization. Here you see that water of crystallization is the fixed number of water molecules present in one formula unit of a salt. You see the example, copper sulphate 5H2O. It contains 5 water molecules and this is called, now it contains 5 water molecules. This is called water of crystallization. Okay, now coming to this Na2CO3 10H2O. This is nothing but washing soda. It also contains 10 water molecules, which is nothing but water of crystallization. And calcium sulphate, it contains 2H2O. So this is called water of crystallization. Now coming to question, what is the water of crystallization of copper sulphate? Means 5. What is the number of water of crystallization in washing soda is nothing but 10. Now in water of crystallization in calcium sulphate is 2. Okay, so this is very important. Now coming to plaster of Paris. Plaster of Paris, CaSO4 half H2O, which is very very important. You see, on we are seeing the preparation of plaster of Paris on careful heating of gypsum, which is calcium sulfate 2H2O. So gypsum is nothing but CaSO4 2H2O. Its chemical name is calcium sulfate dihydrate. Okay, at 373 kelvins, nothing but 100 degrees Celsius. It on heating, it loses water molecules partially to become calcium sulfate hemihydrate, that is CaSO4 half H2O. This is called plaster of Paris. It is a white powder, and on mixing with water it sets into hard solid mass due to the formation of gypsum. Here some important points I will explain. So this is calcium sulfate hemihydrate. Upon mixing of water, it becomes gypsum, calcium sulfate 2H2O. So this is gypsum. Actually, gypsum is this thing. Plaster of Paris is formed when this is heated. When this is heated, it loses water and it forms calcium sulfate half H2O, which is plaster of Paris. But again, when it is mixed with water, it becomes gypsum, right? Yeah, which is a strong solid. So that's why the question is asked, why plaster of Paris is packed in airtight bags? Explain. So plaster of Paris is packed in airtight bags because if it is not stored in airtight bags, it reacts with moisture and forms solid mass, hard solid mass, hence which is not usable further. So that's why the plaster of Paris is stored in airtight or moisture tight bags. Very important. Now see, very important uses of plaster of Paris. First, it is used by doctors for supporting fractured bones in the right position. Yes, if any person gets hurted, if bone is fractured or anything happened, such person is tied with a rope like some thread to the neck. So where the hand or the leg is supported with the supporting of this plaster of Paris. Okay, yes. Now second, it is used for making toys. Next, third, it is used for making materials for decoration and making surfaces smooth, like lapam. In the new houses, it is applied on the wall to make the wall or the surface smooth, which is called lapam. Okay, that is the third point. And second, it is used for making toys, is nothing but making idols like Ganesha idols at Vinayak Chauthi and Krishna idols. So in such purposes, the plaster of Paris is used, right? Now coming the very important question, explain the lab activity of reaction of acids and bases with metals. So question will be asked in such a way that in the lab activity of reaction of acids and bases with metals, write the materials required, precautions and procedure. Okay, or the question will be asked, explain the lab activity of acids and bases with metals. So in such case, this answer is very important. It is very short and you can easily learn. So that's why please concentrate here. Now see the aim: to observe the reaction of acids and bases with metals. Now what are the materials required? Test tube, delivery tube, glass trough, candle, soap water, dilute HCl and zinc granules, cork, etc. Already you have read and learned this in your last lessons, even in my lessons also. So I made all the videos of the acids, bases and salts. If you want to see once again, you can go to the playlist of 10th class physical science English medium. There all the topics are there in from acids, bases and salts. So please watch once so that you can clarify your doubts. Okay, now let us go to the precautions in this lab activity. First, care must be taken while handling with glass items. Second, always wear hand gloves and laboratory spectacles. Third, always use diluted acid only. Fourth, keep a bucket of soap water or ordinary water at the working place. These are the precautions. Now let us see the procedure. First, set up the apparatus as shown in the figure. Second, take about 10 ml of dilute HCl in a test tube and add few zinc granules to it in the test tube. Third point, as soon as the zinc granules are added, a gas is evolved from the top of the test tube. Fourth point, pass the gas being evolved through the soap water with the help of delivery tube. Fifth, bring a burning candle near the gas filled bubbles at the soap water tub, right? Now what are the observations? We observe a gas is evolved from the top of the test tube. Actually from the top of the test tube, not from the top of the zinc granules inside the test tube. Second, if we pass this gas through the soap water, the bubbles are formed. Third, when we bring a burning candle near the gas bubbles, we hear a pop sound. So which gas makes pop sound? Hydrogen. Yes, this pop sound indicates that the gas is evolved is hydrogen. Now what is the conclusion? When acids react with metals, hydrogen gas is evolved. That is 2HCl plus Zn gives rise to ZnCl2 plus H2. Now another lab activity, reaction of acids with carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates, which is also important. Now what is the aim? To observe the reaction of acids with carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates. What are the materials required? 2 test tubes, sodium carbonate, that is Na2CO3, sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is NaHCO3, dilute hydrochloric acid, dilute HCl, lime water, delivery tube, thistle funnel, stand, etc. Right? Now what are the precautions? First, care must be taken while handling the glass items, common. Second, always wear hand gloves and laboratory spectacles. Third, always use dilute acid only. Fourth, keep a bucket of soap water or ordinary water at the working place. See, these 4 precautions are common in any chemical lab activity. You can by heart and you can write in any chemical lab activity if precautions are asked in the questions. Okay. Now the procedure for this lab activity is, first, take 2 test tubes and label them as A and B. Second point, take about 0.5 grams of sodium carbonate, that is Na2CO3 in 1 test tube, and 0.5 grams of sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is NaHCO3 in the test tube B. So in A we take Na2CO3, in B we take NaHCO3. 2 test tubes are required. Third point, set up the apparatus as shown in the figure. Fourth point, add about 2 ml of HCl to both of the test tubes. Last point in the procedure, pass the gas produced in each case through lime water and record your observations. So this is the procedure, and let us see the observations. We observe that lime water turns into milky white after passing the gas evolved during the reaction. This indicates that the gas evolved during reaction is what? Carbon dioxide, CO2. Now conclusion, when acids react with carbonates and metal carbonates, carbon dioxide, CO2 gas is evolved. So that is see the first equation, Na2CO3 plus 2HCl gives to NaCl plus H2O and CO2. Second, metal hydrogen carbonate, that is NaHCO3 plus HCl gives rise to NaCl, H2O, CO2. In both of the cases, CO2 is produced. So when the evolved gas passed through lime water, the reaction taken place is, see, CaOH twice, the CO2 which is produced here, it is added to lime water. This is lime water, this is lime water, and when CO2 is added, it becomes CaCO3, which is white precipitate, and water. Okay, so it means that the gas evolved is CO2 in this reaction. Now see another lab activity, acids show electrical conductivity. Aim to show that acids show electrical conductivity. Now materials required, different aqueous solutions of glucose, alcohol, hydrochloric acid and sulfuric acid, etc. Beaker, 2 different colored wires, bulb, switch, 230 volts AC power supply socket, and graphite rods. Now precautions, see, care must be taken while handling with glass items. Always wear hand gloves and laboratory spectacles. As I said, the precautions are same. Third, always use dilute acid only. Fourth, keep a bucket of soap water or ordinary water at the working place. Fifth, make sure that electrical switch is in off position while setting up off experiment. Now let us see the procedure. See, one important thing here, in any lab activity, when you are writing procedure, definitely you have to draw the diagram and label the parts. It is very important. Now see the procedure. First, connect two different colored electrical wires to graphite rods separately in a 100 ml beaker as shown in the figure. So two wires are there. To the two wires, two graphite rods in the beaker you can see are attached or connected. Second point, connect free ends of the wire to a 230 volts AC supply. At the top you can see, so the blue color red wire are connected through bulb to the AC supply, right, or a plug. Complete the circuit as shown in the figure by connecting a bulb to one of the wires. See the third point in the procedure. Now pour some dilute HCl in the beaker and switch on the current. Record your observations. Repeat this activity with dilute sulfuric acid, glucose, alcohol solution separately and record your observations. Okay, once we take HCl, then after we take sulfuric acid, but after glucose and alcohol, like that. But whenever we take a different solution, first we have to clean the beaker graphite rods clearly so that the effect will be recorded properly. Now see the observations. We observe that the bulb glows in acid solutions but not in glucose or alcohol solutions. Okay, so here the bulb glows in acid and base solution. Second point, glowing of bulb indicates that there is a flow of electric current through the solution. So when electric current flows, when there are ions. So conclusion, acids have H plus ions and the movement of these ions in the solution helps for flow of electric current. And the last point in the conclusion, the positive ion present in all acid solution is H plus ions in the form of H3O plus ions, right? Now coming to last activity, removing water of crystallization. Here aim to observe water of crystallization and to remove the water of crystallization. Materials required, copper sulfate crystals which are in blue color, test tube holder, Bunsen burner, white paper, water, etc. So this activity I explained in my videos. There also you can see the direct lab activity live. It is in that video, you can see, right? Now precautions, the same precautions as we read in the above lab activities. Now see the procedure. Take few crystals of copper sulfate in a dry test tube. Next, heat the test tube on the Bunsen burner or spirit lamp. The observations, we observe that the blue color of the copper sulfate crystals will change into white on heating. Okay, we hear a crackling sound while heating. Some sound comes when we heat the test tube. Next, we also observe small water droplets on the sides of the test tube. It means that the copper sulfate, when we took in the test tube, it was in blue color. On heating, the water vaporizes and the copper sulfate becomes white. The water which is vaporized forms droplets on the inner side of the test tube. Okay, now next conclusion. Copper sulfate crystals contain water of crystallization. When these crystals are heated, water present in crystals is evaporated and the salt turns white. Salt is nothing but copper sulfate. And the other name of copper sulfate is copper sulfate pentahydrate. Pentahydrate means 5 water molecules it contains. Okay. Now the second point in the conclusion, when the crystals are moistened with water, the blue color reappears. Yes, on heating, the blue color of the copper sulfate turns to white. Okay, but after cooling, if you add water, again it turns to blue. It means that the blue color of the copper sulfate is due to the presence of water. Okay, yes. Now with this, the concepts are over and they see the questions, assessment. Very short answer questions. For all these, you can get the answers on your own or from the textbook. See, what is the first question? What is the color of acid in the presence of methyl orange indicator, phenolphthalein indicator? Yes, the color of acid in methyl orange is red. In phenolphthalein, no change in color, right? Second, what is the result of experiment to observe the reaction of acids with metal? Yes, the result of experiment to observe the reaction of acids with metals, when acids react with metals, hydrogen gas is liberated. Yes, third question, how to test the gas evolved when acid reacts with carbonates? Yes, the answer is the gas evolved in the carbonates experiment is passed into the lime water. Then if it turns to white precipitation, when it turns to white, it is nothing but CO2 gas is evolved. Fourth, give an example for neutralization reaction. Yes, HCl plus NaOH gives rise to NaCl plus H2O. In words, when hydrochloric acid reacts with sodium hydroxide, it forms sodium chloride and water. That is the answer for fourth question. And fifth, write an example for reaction of base with non-metal oxides. Yes, base is nothing but sodium hydroxide. Non-metal oxide is nothing but you take copper oxide or carbon dioxide. Definitely it forms Na2CO3 and water, carbon dioxide. Okay, right. Now coming to sixth question, why did not the bulb glow in the glucose solution during electricity is passed through it? In glucose solution, answer I am telling, in glucose solution there is no formation of hydrogen ions, hence the charge carriers are not produced, hence the bulb did not glow, or the bulb does not glow in glucose solution due to the no formation of hydrogen ions. Seventh question, write the names of two salts obtained from common salt. Yes, the two salts obtained from common salt are sodium carbonate and sodium hydrogen carbonate, or sodium hydroxide. It is not a salt. That is, so two salts means Na2CO3 and NaHCO3, right? And the eighth, if a solution turns to red litmus into blue, what will be the possible pH value of that solution? Yes, if red to blue, it is nothing but base, the pH value will be greater than 7. Ninth question, two solutions have their pH values 13.5 and 10.5. Which of them is strong base and which is weak base? Yes, if the pH value is more, it is a strong base, and if pH value is less, it is weak base. What is the difference between baking soda and baking powder? So for the answer of the 10th question, you can see the textbook under the heading of baking soda. Okay, now 11th, write about water of crystallization in your own words. Just now we explained. Okay, short answer questions. First one, write the procedure of experiment to observe the reaction of acid with carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates, and also write your observations. We explained in the lab activity in the just before of the assessment. Okay. Second, explain neutralization reaction with examples. It is there in the lesson or in the concepts. Third, why do we add acid to water while diluting an acid but not water to acid? This is also explained. Fourth, how is pH useful to prevent tooth decay? This is also there, right? Fifth, what is the use of maintaining suitable pH in our digestive system? It is also explained. Sixth, write the uses of sodium hydrogen carbonate in our daily life. All uses are explained. Okay. Seventh, write the uses of plaster of Paris in our daily life. It is also there. Eighth, write the uses of bleaching powder in our daily life. It is also there. Ninth, explain the experimental process of removing of water of crystallization. So just before the assessment, the lab activity. 10th, what happens if pH of the soil is not maintained properly? The crops do not grow because the unbalancing of the pH in the soil. Now very important essay questions. See, observe the following table. Substance pH value is given, opposite to substance A, B, C, D, E, F, G are given, and pH value 7, 8.5. That is nothing but pH of A is 7, pH of B substance is 8.5, pH of C is 3, pH of D is 5.5, and pH of E is 12.5, and pH of F is 13.5, and pH of G is 9. It is given in the table. Now answer the following questions. First question, identify the acids and bases in the above table and write them under correct heading. So here, what are the acids? pH is less than 7. For which pH is less than 7? C and D. Yes, C and D are the acids. The pH of C is 3, pH of D is 5.5. Second question, which of the above are strong acid and weak base? Strong acid is pH value should be very less. That is, C is a strong acid, and weak base is near to 7. That is B, 8.5. Now third question, if the substance A is tested with phenolphthalein indicator, what will be the result? As A is having pH 7, it is neutral. There will be no change of the color. Fourth, if the substance B and C reacts, Then what is the nature of the salt formed? B and C. B is weak base, C is strong acid, and the salt produced will be acidic salt because C is the strongest acid, right? These are the answers. Now second question, write the experimental procedure, observations and conclusions of the experiment to observe the reaction of acids with metal. So this is the first lab activity which I explained in this video just before. Third, write the procedure of the experiment to observe the acids show electrical conductivity. This is the last lab activity. Now fourth, write the procedure to get the washing soda from sodium chloride and write its uses in our daily life. This is also explained, right? Now all answers are there. And the last here we explain multiple choice questions with answers. First multiple choice, which of the following turns blue litmus to red? So blue litmus to red should be acid, that is C, H2SO4. Answer is C for the first question. Second, the value of pH is more than 7 in the following. So for which? Yes, the answer is D because it is base. Third question, non-metal oxide plus dash gives salt plus water. Non-metal oxide is acid and it reacts with base. Hence the answer is B, base for the third question. Fourth, which of the following is used for making toys? That is plaster of Paris. A is the answer for the fourth question. Fifth, when will the rain is treated as acid rain? When pH is less than 5.6. The answer is B, pH of rainwater is less than 5.6. So with this, all the concepts and everything is explained in this video. So see, this is the chapter of 7 periods, but I explained within 40 minutes, less than 40 minutes. So I hope this is very useful to you at this situation because you have to prepare for the final examinations. Everything is there in this chapter. If you read all this, definitely you will get 14 marks. I'll give the guarantee. So be prepared, watch again if you required, and also please share it to your friends. And if you feel this is very useful, please press the like button, also subscribe, and also press the bell button for the next coming videos. So thank you for watching.